Welcome back to episode 7 of Wholeheartedly with
Kendall
and Galey. We are so happy to be here, and we have a lot of surprises for you today. It's probably why I sound so excited, and we'll be revealing that shortly. But what I wanted to start out by saying is for all our listeners last week, we covered how people were scamming us on social media and using our NIL, name, image, and likeness to pawn money off of people. And we talked about how my dog, Charlie, the actual love of my life, was in the emergency room with the vet after a really scary morning. And Kendall, you are not even going to believe what happened after we finished recording. And I drove my butt back over to the vet
No.
to see Charlie.
Real quick, how is Charlie doing? Or how is just so we can get an update. I know we've talked, but I'm sure the people need to know.
Yeah, so Charlie is we're struggling with the bathroom stuff and getting her to eat. But she seems to be in really good spirits, and I have limited time with her. Her heart is really it's broken, and you can't really super glue it back together. So I'm just trying to keep her as comfortable and happy and spoil the crap out of her. Basically, every day is Charlie's birthday in this house now. So
I love it. I come by and get her a little birthday goodie and we'll hang out and keep it chill.
yeah, we're smiling through it to keep her happy, but thank you for asking. So, the craziness that is mercury in my Gatorade is continuing. So this is crazy. Right when we finished recording the pod, I
Mhm.
drove back to lay with Charlie at the ER and just be with her and comfort her. And one of the ER vets who I'd never met before came up to me and she said, "This is unrelated to Charlie, but I just wanted to ask you and run this by you because I was following you on Facebook. I can't believe you're here. I didn't even know you lived in Fort Lauderdale. I was following you on Facebook and I was trying to get you to come here and do my house in Fort Lauderdale, which is also where I live." And she's like, "So you can't message you on Facebook." So I created an Instagram account just to follow you so that I could message you about hiring you to design my house. And then I got this message from your production team. And I spent the last 3 weeks going down this rabbit hole of filling out casting paperwork and giving them a tour of my house. And I was ready to wire them $10,000 as the down payment. And then magically, I see your name on the list of patients that we have. And I realized I put two and two together and I realized that before I send this money, I should just double check with you. So can I just showed you their emails and make sure that's who I send the money to? And I was like, oh my gosh, you would not
No.
even believe this. I was just talking about this an hour ago on my podcast. Do not send the money. It is a scam. And so, to add insult to injury, not only are they hurting people that I don't know who are really excited to have a home makeover, but now they're hurting the person who just saved my dog's life. Right? Of all the people I want to thank and show gratitude toward and protect, it's the person literally saving my dog, my child. And now they're trying to hurt her too. So I said, it's a scam. Block them. Do not write them back. And also, here's my cell phone number. I will 100% do your house, and you are getting a home makeover. And I'm bumping you to the front of the list because of what you did for Charlie. So it all kind of worked out perfectly in the end, right? Because now I am getting to meet her and getting to do her house, and she literally saved my dog's life. So it's all a very happy ending, but mercury is definitely still in the Gatorade, y'all.
What the hell? How insane is that? Because we just talked about it and I knew that you were running to the vet and I was waiting for updates from you. And then you text me and you're like, you won't believe I have to save it for the pod. Like, you're not going to believe what happened. But how small of the world is it that then the vet who is literally saving Charlie's life, who is clearly a lovely human. I mean, anybody that chooses to be a vet, it's a lot of school. It's very hard work. A doctor, vet, all that. But in particular, oh my God. Like, what are the odds? How are they now? Hold on. I have questions. I need to go and find out who these people are. I'm gonna call up some buddies if we need to. And I know people who can hack. I know people who do things on the dark web. I don't do it, but I know people who know how to do it. I'm like, we need to get after them. This is disgusting. Like, I'm
I
ready to completely wage war.
I love your vigilante energy. Every
Oh,
time somebody is out there just putting bad stuff into the world, you're like, "I ride at dawn, I ride at night, I ride at noon. Whenever you need me, I'm riding there," and I love it. So something we need to talk about that we started to talk about and then we realized, nope, save it for the pod. We have
yeah.
to talk about the fact that Kendall and I both have a proclivity
Oh,
to
good
eat
word.
eggs in the morning. And it got me thinking. Hang with me here, guys. I know that eggs come from chickens and it's the female chicken, it's the hen, right? But what
They
I
are hen
didn't realize is that eggs are being laid every single day. I mean, a hen will lay a chicken, I'm sorry, a hen will lay an egg every 24 to 26 hours, like one egg every day, but it never gets fertilized and they don't need to have a rooster to in order to lay these eggs. They just keep laying them. And then I started to realize that eggs are kind of like a chicken's period because it just happens every day and you don't need like we have periods whether there's a male around or not. So like so what are we eating every
ugh,
morning for real?
the way you're I'm gonna gag. Like, the idea of it, but and it you're killing me because I eat eggs almost every I love eggs. They're such a personal, like, protein they're, like, perfectly balanced, they're great protein, well, they're not cheap anymore because everything's freaking expensive at the grocery store. But Gailey, did you have to? Did you like, is this not one thing you thought, "Let me keep this to myself. Let me just, like, not share this with the world."
For real though,
I
that is
know.
what how else would you explain it? If your body was just producing something that naturally comes out every single day, but it's only the female of the species
Yeah.
that is doing that, what else is it?
But also imagine, like, I feel bad for hens because that's like being on your period every single day of your life, which that's already like, that's trauma every day. Like, are they good? You're like, "Ask a hen, are you good, girl? Are you okay? Because 'Cause you're, like, laying a bunch of eggs. You good, girl?" Like
But speaking of snacks, you went to the US Open, and I
Mhm.
was watching your stories, and you looked hella cute, and I I feel like everybody is seeing glimpses of Shadowman on your
Mhm.
social, but we're not I mean, I know him and I know his name, but,
Mhm.
like, how are you handling being out in public, but also trying
Mhm.
to keep it private? That's gotta be such a delicate rope to walk.
Great, Taylor Swift one, "Delicate." Anyway, yes, it has been a very interesting. Honestly, I'm just getting really tired of it. If I'm being completely transparent, I think it was really important, especially as we started dating. And you get this too. Like, you have a ton of people follow you. Hell, you have people who are scamming other people pretending to be you. So, you know, how delicate it is when you're starting to date somebody new. You don't know where things are going to go. I felt very strongly about where Shadowman and I were at, how we connected. We're both older. We've both been through a lot of things. So, we could connect very easily and kind of have those discussions quickly, but I didn't wanna throw him out. I hate to say it, but, like, throw him to the wolves, and, he didn't ask for this kind of life that I've built for myself, and I've been single for a very long time. So, yeah, so we were out and about. There's, like, US Open and Fashion Week in New York happen about the same time. So, I keep getting invited to these events, which is great, and I'm like, "Okay, now that I have the free time, now that I don't have to, like, ask somebody for permission," which I had to previously at my old job, which was kind of wild. I was like, let me go to these events and, meet new people, network, have fun, all this stuff. So we went to this event with Philip Lim. Really cool at the showroom. Was excited to go, kind of nervous because I'm like, I love fashion, but I don't consider myself like a fashion girly. I'm like, I'm not in like the New York Fashion Week scene. So I'm kind of like in there, like, oh, yeah, I'm the workout chick. What's up? Anyway, so we show up at this event and there's a photographer there. And so we're taking photos. She's taking photos of me. And Shadow Man kind of is like, oh, I'll let you do it. And I was like, you know what? No, take the photo with me, babe. Let's take some photos. Because he's a very attractive man. So I was like, you know what? It's time. I'm kind of really sick of it. I get that feedback on Instagram a lot where people are like, stop doing this, girl. But we wanted it to be at our own time. So I don't know. I think I'm kind of ready.
You're ready to bring Shadow Man out of the shadows?
Out of the shadows and into the light. I hate myself for that. Honestly, yeah, I really am. He's such a wonderful person and has been a big reason why my happiness and my peace has grown. I know you've seen it. It's wild too when complete strangers on the internet, or not complete strangers, but people that have followed me for a really long time, they're sending me DMs and commenting and saying, "Oh my God, you're glowing. Wow, this." It's so fascinating when people can pick up on things like that, even just through a screen. So yeah, I think it's time. Should we do it here first? Should we introduce him on
I
Wholeheartedly
mean,
because this is such a great community of people, and I think they deserve to know first?
and honestly, I think this is the best way for you to control your own narrative and you to take
Mhm.
ownership of the relationship and how you want to introduce it and it not be leaked in some photos into some
Yeah.
magazine or some blogger who just took it without you knowing because that's not
Mhm.
fair. So I love that you're taking control of the situation and you're standing in your power and you are glowing ever since you met him. You have been glowing. And I think that other people will understand why once they meet him. So I think we should bring him
I
out
think
of the shadows.
so you've seen him like this for a very long time, and I think it's time for him to come out of the shadows. Everybody, meet Alex.
Hello. Hello, wholeheartedly.
Why am I nervous? Like, this is so wild.
You're talking to like your two best friends.
I know I am. That's actually very true. But everybody, this is Alex. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Gailey, good to see you.
So good to see you. And I love that we can refer to you as Alex now and we don't have to keep calling you Shadowman because the jig is up. And I just want to say, as one of her best friends, thank you for all you've done for my girl because you've been there for her through a really stressful, chaotic time of leaving her stable, steady career to bet on herself. You have been there for her with some difficult things from her roof leaks to friendships and things like that. And you've just been such a constant for her. And the way, when she first told me about you, the way she spoke about you, I almost didn't believe it. But now that I know you, it's legit. And that's what makes me so happy because she got a real good one.
That's super sweet of you. Well, I'm here, everyone. Sorry to drag it out. It definitely wasn't our intention at all.
Mm-mm.
I think it was just a form of like protection towards each other. And, I think we, I guess, hit it off really quickly in our relationship and we're on the same page. And Kendall has a large following. I don't really. And again, we have so much respect for each other. And, if something did go sideways early on and we announced that we are a couple, like we wouldn't want that collateral on each other, right?
Mm-mm.
It's kind of common sense. So, yeah, I mean, we definitely weren't really trying to play into this whole like role of like shadow man and like hiding, which is kind of like protecting each other
But it
out
kind
of
of
like
just
it
happened.
just kind of happened
Yeah.
from a photo on a sidewalk in Soho,
Well,
which is crazy.
and that's the irony of it was we were on an earlier date in Soho. It was a really fun day in the city. It was kind of chilly. We're walking around. Of course, I left my phone in a store and he went to go get it because scatterbrained Kenny leaving phones and things, which Gailey, you know that. But we were taking a little video of the two of us, or I was taking one on my phone just to save it. And I accidentally posted it not onto close friends on my Instagram stories, but onto like my actual Instagram story.
Did you? Or was it?
Oh, no,
Or
I
maybe you
did.
wanted to stir some.
Oh, did I want to
Stir
stir
the
the
pot?
pot?
Yeah.
No, I definitely didn't want to stir the pot. And I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, we're not at that place yet. Like, we haven't talked about how we're going to introduce him, all those things. I knew how I felt about him, but I was just like, "Ugh." So I took it down really quickly, but I already gotten so many DMs. So I was like, uh-oh, I have to acknowledge that there's someone in my life without it being like I'm completely passing over it and he's an accident, or I don't want people to know that I'm in a relationship, because I wanted people to know I was taken and that I was very happy, but I wanted to protect him and our relationship and what we were building. So at the end of a carousel post, I put like a little photo of our two shadows. And I think it was actually your buddy who commented on the photo and goes, "Ooh, Shadow Man." And then all of a sudden, everybody started calling him Shadow Man in the comments. And I'm like, babe, I think that's your nickname.
Yeah. So I guess it stuck for quite some time,
Mm-hmm.
but no longer. Yeah, I'm just Alex.
Just Alex.
Yeah, just Alex.
There's no just. You are Alex, and
I
you
am
are
Alex.
amazing.
I am Alex.
Yes. And so this is now going from our usual wholeheartedly pod to a Q&A with Kendall and Alex, because I am now sitting in the interviewer role and I want to learn all of the things about your relationship that everybody is wanting to know, because we're taking control of the narrative and we're putting it out there. So,
Wait, for the record, this is not there was no, pre-question,
no.
served Alex, like, this is all live, like, sorry, wholeheartedly crew, like, I don't know what's about to come at me, and I sincerely mean that, so Gailey, be nice.
Oh, you know I will be nice. I
I
love
do.
you guys. But I also do my due diligence. So I was watching Newlywed Games. I was just coming up with all the questions I could last night because I was so excited about this. Okay. So first off, I think a good kind of base place to start is, can you guys just share how you met and what that looked like?
You want me to
Do you
take
want
it? I'll take it.
we'll go off each other, yeah, go.
Okay, so we both were on a dating app. We'll call it what it is. They get free advertisement. Thank you, Raya. We were both on Raya, and you messaged me in like October or something, and I didn't message back because I didn't check Raya. I was on a dating app because I was like, Kendall, you need to like try, which I wasn't trying very hard. So he messaged me. I didn't message back. You messaged me again.
Do you remember what I said?
What did you said something sassy?
I wasn't sassy, it was just like, wow, like, the second message is really tough, like, come on, like, who do you think like, just send me a, "Hey, what's up?" You know, like,
That's honest.
I was, like, just tongue in cheek, I was definitely being sarcastic, but you responded, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, like, I should respond," you know?
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, I'm really sorry." It was over Thanksgiving too by the time I saw it or we responded. And I was like, "I'm with my family, whatnot." I was like, "What are you doing for the holiday?" And then you left me on red for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
What?
Like, oh yeah.
It
Oh, so he pokes. Hold on. He was like, "Excuse you." And then I respond back. And then I didn't get a response. And I was like, whatever. Okay, cool. It's Ryan. Nobody talks. I'm used to
it's
this.
a classic dating app, like, this is
Yeah.
how it starts, this is how it ends, and
Yeah.
we're both guilty.
Okay. Real question here. So, Alex, was that part of a strategy, or did you genuinely just not see it and you were off it? Because you did pretty closely follow the first one with the second one, so you were on there looking. So, were you playing a game, or what were you doing?
Well, between my first, like, very, very first message and the, like, follow-up, it wasn't, like, a day or 2, like, it was, like, there's time. Like, I definitely am, like, not sitting there waiting for
No, it was like a week.
I mean, of course, I wanted you to respond, but I wasn't sitting there, like, waiting, but, no, like, I wasn't playing a game. I don't know why I didn't respond right away, honestly.
Did you see it?
I honestly, I don't think so. It gets honest, I don't remember, it was so long ago, but for me, like, I was single for so long, Gailey. Like, I was single for, like, 3-ish years, and completely by choice, and I was just stepping into, like, dating again is it's intimidating. Like, I don't want to go, like, take girls on dates and do this thing where I have to go on 2 or 3 dates a week and go drinks. Like, I'm not interested in that. Like, I
It's a
just wanna,
job.
like it's a job, and I don't want that job. Like, I know my values, I know what I want, I know what I don't want, and I just kinda wanna, like, find that person and hit it off, and eventually I responded, I guess.
Eventually he got smart and responded.
Yeah.
No, but I wasn't really active on the app either anyway. And so I think it was around when did we actually start really talking? I wanted to screenshot the conversation, but you're not allowed to screenshot on Raya without getting like kicked off it.
It was, like, a week or 2 before
Mhm.
that Lulu shoot you had,
Oh,
whenever that
no,
was,
I wasn't, no,
or
it was LA. It was for Don't Quit.
okay, yep.
You know, it's funny. And we got to thank my hair girl because I had to go back to LA. I was like, screw it. My hair was growing out so much and I need to get reblonded. And the only woman that I trust is in Beverly Hills. Her name's, guys, it's called Beaumain Salon. I'm giving her a huge plug. She is iconic. It has saved my hair. It's the reason it's grown. So I was like, I need to get my hair redone. We had a new asset photo shoot for Peloton. And then I had a Lululemon photo shoot coming up and my hair was like two-toned. I was like, no. So I had enough points on one of my airlines. So I was like, let me just fly to LA on points, do like a 24-hour moment in LA, get my hair done. And then there was a shoot for Don't Quit that I'm a part of that they made happen because I was on the West Coast and then flew back. So we were finally talking on Raya pretty consistently. We didn't have a lot of
It was, like, a bit
conversation,
back and forth,
a
yeah.
little back and forth. And then I remember I was at the airport. and in at Newark, and I was talking to my dad, and he sends a message, and he's like, "Hey, do you wanna just FaceTime?"
Wait, there's a little story before that.
Wait, what am I missing?
So, I asked you gave me your number.
Oh, I
Okay, so
did.
this is no,
Oh, I
okay, so
did.
she gave me her number and I texted her, right? Like let's move this off this horrible app and
Uh-huh.
let's text like normal people. So I go to text her and there's like no response for a full day. I'm like, really? I'm like, this is so weird. She's giving me her number. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's busy flying. I don't know what's going on. So I go back to the app. I'm like, hey, I sent you a text. Like it may have went to your unknown folder in iMessage, which is like a folder now. So sure enough, my text did go to her unknown folder on her phone and finally got like the text back.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a big question. I was like, really? Like
Hold
she's
on. What did you've told people you're like, "Who does this chick think
yeah,
she
like who does
is?"
she think she is? And I'm like, like everything else is great, but like I need a nice, good, loving person. You know, I'm like, just come on. This isn't like grade school. Like, just text me back. It's not that big of a deal. So,
I think that's when
I,
you realize that this was actually your, I guess not a red flag, but a beige flag about me, that I'm a little scatterbrained and I'm a little ADHD
sure,
and I'm not always going to respond back, which Gailey can attest to. Even though I read it and I
yeah,
consume it, I'm like, what? A
yeah.
little airy.
So
But
fast forward, you're on your flight. You're texting. I'm like, do you want to FaceTime?
mhm.
So we jumped on FaceTime, and sure enough, your flight was delayed by like a couple hours.
Yeah, I
No,
think
yeah.
an hour and a half because it was a Boeing flight where the doors
God,
the
Boeing.
door was about to like fall off. And I was like, "Oh shoot." So we literally taxied onto the tarmac and then we had to go back to the gate to change out the door and then we could finally fly to LA. So I had all this time on FaceTime and it was so funny. I had thank God for points because I would have never paid for this, but I got to sit in first class because they have like the cubbies and I was like, "Ooh, then I can like lay down and get a nap, whatever." So I'm in my little cubby section on a first date with him, essentially. Like we're asking all the
A
basic a
FaceTime.
FaceTime first date from the plane while it's delayed.
7A, seat 7A.
It was 7A.
No, it wasn't. Was it
Oh, I
really?
think it was. Yeah. I seriously think it was.
I totally made that up.
Wow.
Are you
We're
sure?
in
Really?
sync. I honestly think it was. I usually sit
We need to
in an
check that.
odd
We need
number
to actually
row.
check.
I can look. I can look. Anyway, so we kind of had that date. We landed, or I landed, I say we, I landed in LA. We finally took off, landed in LA. It's really late. And there was this really adorable guy behind me. And he was super sassy. And he tapped me on the shoulder and he goes, "Sounded like a great first date. I like him."
Oh my
because
god.
because we weren't talking on speaker, but he could hear my responses and stuff. And so it was just really cute because he was like, "I hope it works out." He was like kind of listening and invested. And I was like, "Oh God, okay, this is embarrassing. I just had a first date on a plane." But at the same time, it was lovely feedback from a stranger that they were supportive. Anyway, okay, we've talked enough. Ask your next question.
Yeah, next.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. And I love going to restaurants and Dale and I will look around and try and figure out which couples are on their first date because you can tell by their body language and the
Mhm.
flow of the conversation. You can tell by the nerves versus the comfort level. If you're comfortable just sitting and eating and not talking, it's been like 3+ years. And if somebody always has to be talking, it's a first date. So those are the best to eavesdrop on. So you're welcome to 8C for getting to experience Kendall in a 7C. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, it's going to be like a rapid fire, really quick. I'm going to ask
Mhm.
a question and you're going to say the person's name. So it's going to be like, who hogs the covers? And like Kendall, if it's you, you say Kendall. And Alex, if it's Kendall, you say Kendall. So for the people not watching on YouTube, they won't be able to see your hand raise or like point at each other. And if you say me, that won't be clear. So just say the person's name at the same time. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
First one. Who hogs the covers?
Kendall.
Kendall.
The fact that I knew that too, and I literally called that for both of you.
I need to be swaddled and cocooned when I sleep. Okay. I love to be like a bug in a rug. It's the best. Sorry, babe.
I think we all know that for some reason. It just
It
you
just makes
are you hog the covers. Okay. Who is the pickier eater?
Alex.
Kendall. Okay, wait, okay. Here's a good story. So we got back from where was it Florida or LA? I can't remember. We got back super late. Flight was delayed. It was canceled. Our go-to meal when we're in a pinch that's healthy, super quick, is like protein pasta by Barilla. So there's their plug. But so it takes 10 minutes to make, super quick, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna make some, like, Rouse, like, sauce," which I guess isn't healthy for you anymore. Like, there's ingredients in it.
I think they got bought out by a different
Okay,
company and now it's
well,
questionable. Anyway.
anyways, so I make the pasta really quickly. It's like 12:30 at night, or I guess in the morning. And so I make it. Put the sauce in the pasta. I'm like mixing it, right? And I like put hers like in a bowl to like bring it to the table. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, no." What do you mean
No,
no?
I was nice about it.
No, you were nice, but I was defeated because we were like delayed, late night, long couple days working, and she was like, "I don't like tomato sauce." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't like tomato sauce?"
As an Italian, I have a caveat. So I don't like canned tomato sauce that you can just buy at the store. Like, this is where I'm bougie. I have to make tomato sauce myself, or I'll make it, or I'll cook it, or if it's my mom's, it's different. But like just general canned sauce that you just pour on top, I hate it. I can't do it. So usually what I do is I'll just do plain pasta, olive oil, a pound of Parmesan cheese. It's mostly cheese, let's be real. And that's what I was thinking in my head. And I didn't communicate that to him because it was late and I was just like,
Because, like,
I'm just
that's
used to
that's that's
eating
what
it.
we do when we're, like, very young. We're, like, 8, 9, 10. We have
Oh yeah.
just Parmesan cheese on
Or butter
pasta or butter
noodles.
noodles, right? So
I,
she
I
doesn't
Butter
like
noodles.
I think maybe we both have our moments, but we both eat well, you know?
we both eat well. I think you're pickier with like, oh, you hate cucumbers.
I don't like cucumbers for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I don't like cucumbers in sushi. Like, I don't it's like there's no taste to it. Like, there's no I don't know. It's weird. I don't have an answer.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'll
think
maybe
we're
I'll
both
maybe
kind
we'll
of
we'll
picky.
get
I,
sushi and I'll start to like, I don't know.
I kind of don't feel like either of you are that picky because you're only able to both point to one thing that the person doesn't like to eat, as opposed to every meal you pick stuff out, which is me, and Dale has to put up with it. So I think that classifies as neither of you are picky. Okay,
Yeah,
next question. Who orders more on Amazon?
Kendall.
Kendall.
Okay, we're in agreement. Who is
Mhm.
more disciplined?
Alex.
Really?
It's weird saying
Kendall.
myself. I think we're both disciplined in our
We're disciplined
certain
in different ways.
disciplines,
You're
you
much
know?
more routine focused. Like you have certain disciplines. Like you're always like you love to play tennis. You're very disciplined with going to the gym. You're more like
Which is like yeah,
routine on timing. I'm very, very disciplined, but I think I'm just used to my life being so chaotic that yeah, I don't know. I think I'm more freeform discipline than you. I think you're more of like a regimented traditional
yeah,
discipline.
I don't know. It's both though. I think we've been so busy where you're really good at just getting it done. If you have 1,000 things on the list, like you get
Yeah,
it done. And they say if you need something done, give it to a busy person, which is true.
that's true.
So
That is true. Find the busiest person you know, and they will get it done before anybody else.
Yeah, you're the queen of that, Gailey. You truly are like the most disciplined person I know.
So I would
I mean,
say, Kendall, you are organized chaos, and Alex, you are just organized.
yes,
that's
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 exactly
that's
it.
that's fair.
Yep, on
Okay,
point.
I think everybody knows the answer to this question from Kendall's previous stories, but who is
Uh-huh.
cleaner?
Alex.
Alex.
See, now it
Moving right
sounds like
along.
there's this guy on like Instagram that would like iron his like sheets and like place everything like perfectly
Oh yeah, you're
meticulous. Like
not American
I'm
Psycho. You're
not
not Patrick
that,
Bateman.
but
No.
like I just like it like organized. It makes me like if everything's organized, like that means like my brain is like organized and like I feel like grounded and I feel like calibrated, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
If I have like stuff everywhere, like I need to go on a walk and like get my brain out or something.
Yeah,
Like it reflects my environment, reflects my mind. So I try to like have the good environment to keep my mind. I don't know.
I love when things are organized, but I get overwhelmed, and so it'll be a little bit messy, and then I get overwhelmed by the idea of having to reorganize it. Rather than and what I one of the things I love about Alex is that he always keeps it organized and minimal, and it's brought a lot of peace into my life because it allows me to kind of like fall into that same energy. So it's been very supportive and helpful in that front.
I'll support you.
Thank you.
I fully co-sign that mentality. If I have a lot of work to do and my house isn't clean, I have to clean it before I can start the work. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to focus and I'm going to feel really scattered. So I know my work will be better and benefit from me cleaning and organizing first. At least that's what I tell myself. Okay. Who usually makes the first move?
Oh, like
like first date, first type move or like first meet?
No, like, who makes the first move? Like, you know what I'm saying.
Who initiates?
Yeah.
Um, it's both.
I think we're pretty even on that.
And we don't have like a standard like we don't like set like a weird standard or like hold things over each other's
Mm-mm.
head. Like we're busy. We don't force things. We don't like there's no need to create something out of nothing, if that makes sense.
We don't keep score, is the best
Yeah,
way I
that's
can put
not
it.
yeah, like
And
I
we're
don't even
pretty
know what
much in
city I'm in
sync.
right now. We've been like 5 cities in like 3 days.
I will say this entire relationship, bless his heart, because the majority of it has happened in other states, in hotels, on planes.
On
Like,
planes.
no, not
Oh.
oh,
That's
no, we have not
that's like, what?
no, no, we have not joined the Mile High
He's
Club,
saying
everybody.
the relationship, not the other
No,
stuff
no,
that's
we can
happened in these places.
moments, not like
Yeah.
intimate.
Yeah, we're on the go and we just make
Yeah,
it work and that's it.
yeah, yeah. We're
That's it.
good. We'd be really good. Well, I wouldn't be good. I think you'd be great at Amazing Race. I would just be a stress ball.
It'd
Like,
be fun.
"Ah,"
It'd be
but
fun.
it'd be fun.
We could do it.
We could.
Who said I love you first?
Alex.
Alex. It was at the point, like it was pretty early. We knew how connected we were, and we knew how I knew I was in love with him. I think you knew that you were in love with me.
Obviously.
Well, yes, but you were a little bit nervous about it. So we were at his place in DC and we were going to go out to dinner. And part of me was starting to, I never have overthought with our relationship, but I was starting to be like, when's he going to DTR this? Like, DTR means defining the relationship.
Did
Like,
not know that.
yes, you have sisters, babe. I feel like you should know that. But I was like, when is he going to ask me to be his girlfriend? Because like, I know how strong our feelings are, but he hasn't even asked me to be his girlfriend. What's going on? So we're about to leave. You're in the kitchen. You're like, you're coming to the kitchen. And I was like, okay. And so I come into the kitchen and you hug me and you give me a kiss and you like stare at me like really intently. I'm like, oh, he's gonna ask
No,
me to
it's
be his girlfriend.
soft. It wasn't.
No, but but you could tell that there was energy there. Like I was like, oh, he's about to
Yeah,
ask me
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Come on, I'm a woman. We're intuitive.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he's gonna ask me to be his girlfriend. Like freaking finally. So he goes, I love you, right? And I was like, yeah, wait. I was like, well, yeah, hold on. Am I your girlfriend though? Like, and I don't know why I had it in my head that we needed to define the relationship before you're allowed to say I love you to somebody. But then I was like, well, yeah, I love you too. And then I was like, wait, does that mean I'm your girlfriend now? And he's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, you weren't gonna ask? Like, what?
Well, listen, I think I love you, the 3 words are very powerful. I think
Mhm.
they're very like, they should not be loosely thrown around to anyone or
Mm.
anything. And I definitely wasn't scared to say it, but you kind of think of your past and like what you've been through and how you've been hurt. And like it means a lot to me to say that to someone. And I know for her too. So
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like if you say I love you, it's like that's I think it's almost bigger than saying, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?
No, it is bigger. That's why I was like, oh,
Yeah,
we're
so
just
I
gonna
went I
skip
just
over the girlfriend
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, we just went right into it.
No, I like it. It worked out great. It was very
So
sweet.
we had a great dinner.
We did. We always go to this one restaurant. We won't say it on here, but there's a restaurant in DC we go to often, and it feels like every big milestone in our relationship, we end up going there
Yeah,
and
the
celebrating.
food's great.
Yeah, the food is great. Great food in DC. All right, next one. Yep, that was he said it first.
I love that. I love that so much. Okay. Um, who apologizes first?
I guess I don't know if we can like say like a name on this. Like I think we both
I
first of
think we
all,
both
I
do.
think we have a very healthy relationship. And the
Mhm,
one thing that I can definitely speak for us both is that we have a tremendous amount of respect for each other. And
mhm,
that was like really day one of like, I appreciate what you've done with your work. I appreciate where you want to go. Like I understand the work. I know what you've been through. So like like that was so understood from day one. So like we don't get in like fights. Like that's not a thing. I think it's more so like there's daily life stress that gets involved sometimes and people have their moments, right? Like, you have a ton going on with work or you had stressful calls and some things didn't go right with other situations that day. And you do take it out on your person and you don't mean to, but it just kind of happens. So like we get that. Like I can give out passes on stuff like that because we're human. Like it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, we don't fight. So I don't think we've said sorry a lot. Like we just haven't had to. And
I definitely have when like I can get stressed and overwhelmed. I'm the first person to say it. Like
yeah,
I can get overstimulated and be like, "Bleh," like, and it's just a moment and I'm like, damn it, that was embarrassing. Or I'll be like, oh babe, I'm sorry. I'm like in a moment or I'm in a mode right now. And I think what's great with him is that
I call you out.
you call me out. You called me out yesterday, validly, even though I didn't want to be called out yesterday because I was just overwhelmed by like trying to coordinate and travel and get from A to Z. But what was good about that was I was like, okay. And we talked about this yesterday, and he's like, I think we need a word. Like, we need a word that isn't me telling you to chill, because I know that's not
Because that,
gonna
that that does
that will
not
never work.
help, and
And
I know that.
he didn't tell me to
I have,
chill.
I have two sisters.
Yeah,
That's
chill's
never
not
worked. Like telling a girl to chill
no,
will
not
never
no.
work.
That's
Word
gonna and I
relax. The
Or like
word
relax.
relax
Or relax
sends
is
me. Just relax, or like, I can't. I'm done. I'm out.
yeah, you're like, I will go absolutely nuclear. Yeah, that is like, you want me to go from 0 to like 2000, it's chill or relax, or
Yep.
stop being emotional, or don't be crazy. Like, those are my 4 trigger words that are absolutely no. But what was nice was we were talking and he's like, look, if you're feeling overwhelmed and it's just, I can see that you're getting there. Like, I think we need a word for when we're both feeling that way. That's kind of like, hey,
and it's not me.
calm.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's not a personal thing, but like, I'm concerned because I can tell that you're getting hyper stressed. And it's a way for us to communicate, like, I'm here for you through this and we can do this.
Yeah, and it's not. I'm not trying to be like nitpicky or
Not
like
naggy.
put you
We don't
under.
nag.
Yeah, no, but like,
Wait.
hey, like
So hold on. What is the word?
So it's an Italian word, and you're like, okay, this will work. It's like it's tranquilla, like just tranquilla. Because you
tranquil. It's like,
yeah, it's kind of funny because it's silly when you say it, right? So kind of diffuse it a little bit, like tranquilla, tranquilla, like
but it's
it's
like
kind of cute.
it needs to be like the Switzerland, kind of come in neutral. Like I'm not saying this to like make you mad or you're super stressed. I'm trying to calm you down. Right, it's just like, all right, I love you, and I'm coming from a place of like caring. Like this is nothing to do with me or you. It's just like,
Let's diffuse the
yeah, it's
situation.
just like it's all good.
Yeah.
And none of
It's
these
so
situations are that big, you know.
Mhm.
It's so funny how, and it's interesting how relationships find their own cadence and their own way of problem solving. And Dale and I literally are in that same spot. And our word is penguin because it reminds us of something that it's something that happened in like our second date that he said that was so funny and random. And so it makes us laugh. So whenever we're in that place of like feeling kind of hostile and just not work, so one of us is in a funk and the other person just is trying to be like, hey, calm down, it's going to be fine, and also don't take it out on me. You just say penguin and it just kind of diffuses it. So it's interesting that
Ah,
relationships kind of come to that same reality, right, of having that word that pulls you out of it. So I actually think that's great advice. And I love tranquila. Okay, it makes me think of tequila though, which is a little wild.
woo.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so now these are different questions. These are not so much like say the person's name, but just wanting to understand you guys a little bit better. Well, I feel like I do, but this is for the people who want to know.
People,
Super
Um,
one.
so
people.
so Kendall, we know you are an amazing chef, and shout out to anyone who hasn't yet signed up for her newsletter. It just came out last night. I got the first one, and it is freaking epic. She has these amazing recipes and breaks them down so that even a non-chef like myself can make a bomb meal and impress somebody if you want to. But also there's workout advice and mental health stuff on there. And if you are not signed up, what are you doing? But I wanted to first ask you, Kendall, because you're such a good chef, and we all know that in the beginning of relationships, we put our best spoon forward. What was your show off meal, the first meal that you made for Alex to really impress him?
Begins with an F.
Yep. So it has actually become a staple in our relationship, and it's one of my favorite things. Uh, the first time you came up to visit me in New York, I was like, okay, I'm pulling out all the stops. I made homemade focaccia, and
Ooh,
then I made a spicy, like kind of carbone inspired pasta that was also high protein. And then did I make the chocolate mousse that was healthy?
Yes.
Yep. That man got a 3-course meal. It was like
So
a
good.
whole thing.
So good.
and
And we were
Alex, what was going for real? What was going through your mind as she sets the plate down and you're smelling it and you're seeing it and you take your first bite? Were you just like, I'm ruined. I'm never gonna want to leave this where like this
Yeah,
is it for me. I'm done. I can't. This is as good as it will ever possibly get with this girl. This is insane.
yeah, I mean, definitely a couple things went through my mind. I think number 1, like, shout out to my parents, like, I was absolutely spoiled as a child. My mom and dad are amazing cooks, like, incredible. Like, I was very lucky to always have, like, a fresh meal, like, super healthy, very clean, so my parents honestly set the bar very high, little did you know. Um, but no, it honestly, like, to me, like, cooking is a love language,
Mhm.
and to, like, spend time, you want to, like, prepare it well, you want them to enjoy it, you wanna enjoy it together, like, I think it's such a kind thing to do, and it's not easy to, like, make 3 really good dishes.
Bread
Um,
from scratch.
yeah, I mean, from scratch, right? So, like, um, yeah, I mean, to respect it.
You just kept being like, "Wow,
It
wow,
was good. It
wow."
wa no, I mean, it was good.
That's
Also
great.
but also we eat so late, for just so everyone knows, we eat between, like, 9 and, like, 11 p.m.
We might as well be
Same.
Maybe
Spanish.
10:30, 9, like, we eat super late, so
Yeah.
I think by the time, like, you and I are both so hungry, it's like everything's good.
Oh, okay.
No, that's like
We're gonna
no,
eat dinner
no,
at 6 p.m. and I'm gonna show you
no,
how good my
that
cooking
came out
is,
wrong.
babe. No,
No,
no, no, no, I
but
know, I'm
we
kidding.
like
He's like reverse, reverse.
like, I
Wait,
yeah,
no.
anyways,
No, 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 I know what you were saying. Yeah, it was really fun. It was fun to get to surprise him with a meal and all the Italian cooking that I love so much,
focaccias.
and then the best part is, and we kinda talked about it early because I made sure to set this in stone. This is what I learned from my
Oh
parents,
god.
and this is funny, you said this like, couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Look, if I cook," and he goes, "Well, yeah, like, I'll clean up." So, joke's on him because I think he's now realized this far into our relationship that I'm pretty much always gonna cook, and he's pretty much always cleaning up, and he's like, "I don't understand how you did this, but I think I'm gonna be cleaning up dishes the rest of my life." And I was like,
Like,
"Yeah, probably, babe, probably, but
yeah.
you'll be well fed so you can have the energy to do it."
Yeah, so it's fair, like, we definitely, that has to be a rule. I think everyone has to establish that.
Yeah, we have a couple good rules.
Yeah, but they're like
Mm,
they're common sense, like, that's where we're here for
true.
common sense.
Well, it's common sense if you guys have base things off of the same logic, right? Sometimes you feel
True,
like
True,
somebody who
true.
is completely illogical and their sense is nonsensical to you, but it's just because you're not founded in the same logic, which is why if your families have the same value system of we
Mhm.
both like pitch in, we both help
Yeah.
out, we both contribute to the household needs, then logically it makes sense. So that's great. Okay. Um, next one is what is the first sweet thing that Alex did for you?
Oh, this is great. This is wow, this is before we even met in person. We
Ooh.
were talking.
and I felt weird about it too, a
You
little
should
bit.
hold on, let's
Okay, you can
not,
tell
yes,
story. Okay,
I
go
don't,
ahead, go ahead.
like, wait, wait, wait.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, this was such a win. This was a big reason why I was like, "Okay, cool, I think we're on the same page because I would do this for somebody." So we started talking officially, that whole plane conversation happened, like, it was January the 17th. I remember this because I saved it and I took a
Ooh.
photo. I was
Mhm.
like, "I think I need to know this day." I just had a sense that I should remember it. And so when I got back from Los Angeles and I was in, New York, my birthday was coming up because my birthday is on the 28th, and my mom was gonna come out and spend some time with me, and so we were talking, we were FaceTiming a lot. My mom wasn't there yet, so we'd spend, like, a couple hours on FaceTime every day, just chatting, talking, going through all of our past relationship trauma, what we believe in relationships, what we want, and we realized we were really on the same page. I kid you not, this is such a testament to if he wanted to, he would. Because we sorry, babe. It's true though. It's so true because you really do, and you are a prime example of that. But I was talking about this candle brand that I love, and it's called True Dawn. It's these expensive, beautiful, stunning, like all black
It
candles.
was like $100.
Yeah, but that's expensive for a
Yeah,
candle. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not like
but,
a
like, it wasn't
$20.
yeah, but, like, expensive is, like, very subjective in today's world.
True, but I still consider
It
a
wasn't a
candle that's
TJ
not.
Maxx candle, and it
But you know
wasn't
what? We go to TJ Maxx a lot, and we go to
we
Ross
go
a
to
lot.
Ross.
We go to
I
Ross.
heard that I was sitting over in my corner while you guys were recording the
We do.
first,
And
and I was listening to your ad reads.
yeah, and we get our candles and
Alright, so
stuff.
anyways.
Anyway, so back to it. So I talked off the cuff about this candle and that it was sold out and it was this great scent called Ernesto that I loved. Sure enough, he's like, "Hey, something can you send me your address?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'll be fine." And he's like, "I just want to do something. I know your
Well, I
birthday's
asked for
coming up."
permission, though.
You asked for
I was
permission if
like,
you
"I don't
could
know if
send me
this
something.
feels right."
And I was like, no, that's totally fine. We've talked. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I was like, oh, he's probably going to send me flowers for my birthday. That's very, very nice. So birthday comes around on Sunday, nothing shows up, which is fine. And then Monday, he's like, oh, I'm double checking on this. Okay, it should be to you on Monday. So my mom is in town at this point. Susie's in town. And she's like, oh, honey, you got a package. It's like heavy. Like, what? And the return address was from some brand. It was Net-a-Porter, I
No,
think.
yeah, yeah.
And so I open it up. There's the sweetest note that I have kept that was like from the brand. And it was something very sweet about my birthday or whatnot. Shoot, I forgot what it was. I have a photo of it somewhere. And I opened up the box and it is the sold out True Dawn candle that I could not find anywhere. I can't, you couldn't purchase it anywhere. It was sold out everywhere online. And he somehow managed to not only find one, but get one sent to me for my birthday. And I looked at my mom and my mom looked at me and she goes, oh, damn, honey. Oh, damn. And I was like, wow, this guy like really, not only was he thoughtful, he listened to something I said off the cuff. He knows how much I like it. He remembered and he found a way to order it and have it sent to me when it was sold out. I was floored.
Yeah, I mean, I also was very timid to do that because, listen, I have 2 sisters and, like, I'd never want to I never wanted to come off like, to, like, "Let me buy this for her, let me, like, do this," or, like, "Let me try to, like, buy her something so she's, like, happy." Like, I don't want to be that person or, like,
No, it was so thoughtful.
do something that too early, like, that kind of rubs me the wrong way when people are, like, aggressive.
Mhm.
Not that I
Same.
thought that was anyway, so, yeah, like, asked you for, like I'm like, "Oh, do you mind if I send you a little something for your birthday?" And that was it. It
Yep.
was a candle.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love the effort and the thought that went into it. It wasn't just like jumping on Amazon and hitting something the day before, you know? Which
Yeah.
we all appreciate that, but there's a lot more effort that goes into hunting something down and like nailing the date. So I
It was the hunting thing. I was like, ooh, that's attractive. I like that.
This was
I
epic.
bet CIA Susie was like, "Ooh, he's got my skills."
Yeah.
Okay.
Susie was like, impressive. Wow.
Okay, and last question before we go over to our wholeheartedly Instagram and some of the relationship questions that people asked, which I
Yep.
loved.
Uh-huh.
When did you both know like this was real? Like, ooh, I am catching real feelings.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go first.
Yeah, so we met in person right before.
Yeah,
January
wait, hold on.
30th.
Alex is like the day we met, the first day we met in person.
Yeah, no, that sounds crazy, oh my god.
When did you know it was real?
Um,
Well, the day we met.
no, the reason why okay, so the reason why I bring it up is we met in person for coffee for, like, an hour and a half. I don't know what day it was on.
January 30th.
Okay, it was January 30th.
No, January 31st.
Okay, it was in January,
Mhm.
and actually had a flight out of New York that night. I was going on a ski trip overseas, and I was like, "Just let's meet up real quick, like, just grab coffee." The I don't say transition, but from FaceTiming on the phone every day to in person, it was the same thing.
Mhm.
Like, there was 0, like, "Oh my gosh," like, is she shorter? Is she taller? Am I taller? Like, it was like none of those. It's like, this is the same thing. It felt so natural and so like, "Oh, there she is." And I don't you don't believe it until it happens to you, but there's just like a knowing that
Mhm.
happens in your life with certain things. Maybe it's career, maybe it's relationship, maybe it's I don't know anything, but I had that knowing very quickly, and I was like, okay, like it's starting, and the past is completely over. So
Mhm.
that's when I knew.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, so we were at Maman in Tribeca because he was working,
Is that we work? Yeah.
you were at WeWork in Tribeca getting a little work done. And I noticed you like shared your location with me. You're like, yeah, like I'm around here, whatever. And I looked and I'm like, my goodness, I am less than a mile away. If I do not make a point to see this guy, I'm going to be upset. Granted, I had just gotten the candle like 2 days before and we've continued to talk all this stuff. So we've built up a lot of conversation. I was like, I need to see him. So I was like, oh, do you have time for coffee? I don't know if you have meetings or anything like that. He's like, no, I can get a coffee. I was like, okay, great. So I get in an Uber. I'm like so nervous and like, oh God, like I
Wait,
hope this
hold on.
is good.
Hold on. So you scheduled this while you were already out and about. It wasn't like it was pre-planned. So you already had picked out the outfit you were going to see him in. You had a good hair day. Like you were just kind of off the cuff, like, I'm here, you're there, let's meet.
Yeah,
I was flying
exactly.
out that night. Like,
Yep.
I had, like, an 8-hour flight later, so, like, I'm in, like, travel mode. I have, like,
You had a
3
big old
massive bags. I have,
and a
like
huge ski coat and a big backpack. You're like, "I feel like a kid. I look like a kid with,
yeah, I
like,
look
an
like a kid.
overstuffed
I
backpack."
look like I was, like, going back to ski school with, like, my massive, like, parka on, like, a ski like, I had all my ski stuff, so I'm like, I look a little ridiculous, but
And so
Okay,
you
we
obviously
so
yeah.
who was there first? So who walked through the door?
So this was funny. So in the lobby of the WeWork in
Oh,
Tribeca,
yeah.
there were these really big club chairs, and I'm a nugget, so I can kind of hide anywhere. So I'm in these big club chairs, and I'm wanting to see him walk out before he sees me.
She's like, "I need eyes
I
before
wanted
I
a little
commit to
eyes.
this coffee."
I wanted to see the energy, all that. I wasn't gonna like stand you up or anything like that, but I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of the advantage, which sounds terrible, but welcome to womanhood.
I get
So
it.
right? I
It's
know all
fair,
my
it's fair.
girls would have done the same thing. So he comes out of the elevator and he kind of looks around and then he goes down the stairs and I was like, "Oh wow, he's taller than I thought he'd be. Okay." And I knew that he was tall. Well,
No,
after
you're like
I thought you were short on your Raya profile. Not that there's anything wrong with short king. We respect a short king. But I just thought he was shorter than what he was. And then I realized, oh my God, he's like, what, 6'4", 6'5"? I was like, you are a large man. And I really like tall men. I just always have. Maybe it's because I think I'm 6 foot, even though I'm definitely not. So he walks out of the doors and then I kind of sneak up behind him and he does like a double take. I'm like, hi, sorry. I was like hidden over there in the corner.
you just walked by it, essentially.
Yeah, you totally walked by
Like,
me,
I
you
had
didn't
no
see
idea.
me, which was great because I was just clocking him the whole way. I'm shocked you didn't feel my eyes, like, staring into you. But,
Yes.
yeah, we had coffee. I got a table in the corner at Maman in Tribeca underneath this weird tree thing, and then, he got us coffees and was walking over, and I took secret photos on my phone like a crazy psycho stalker chick,
I love
um
it.
and I was taking photos of him so I could send it to my girlfriends and show my mom, and I was like, "Oh, he's so cute. He's so handsome." So, yeah, we had a 90-minute coffee. I kept wanting to touch his leg, but I was like, "Kendall, you're not allowed to do that. This is like you've never met this man in person before." And then
We kissed after our coffee date,
yeah, we kissed after our coffee date.
which is kind of like
Nuts.
it's
It was
kind
a
of
peck. It was a very respectable
you
peck.
tried making out with me.
I did not try
I'm kidding,
oh,
I'm
you're
kidding, I'm kidding,
funny.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm
No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
sure.
No, it was great. It was perfect.
Hey, when you know, and you guys were feeling the energy, and he was about to leave for a trip, so you weren't gonna get to see him anytime soon, so it was like, "We're going in." I just need to have that moment of chemistry before you leave. Okay. So thank you guys for appeasing me with that and sharing all of the details. That was so fun to listen to. And I just think that your relationship is so special and so sweet how it started. And I think if people aren't in relationships, they can hear all of this and feel motivated and encouraged that they can still get the butterflies and they can still find love, whether it's on an app or in the wild. And I think that this is motivating. And for people that are in relationships, I think it's nice to see how you guys interact and you communicate and you think of each other and you both take on chores and tasks, and it's encouraging. So this week we asked people on our Wholeheartedly Instagram, which is at Wholeheartedly Pod, and we asked them, what are some questions or advice you're looking for in your relationship, or a question about our relationships.
Mhm.
And I don't think we've ever been flooded with so many inputs into our Q&A day on the gram. So I actually think we're going to spill this over to next week and dip back into these because there are so many, but I'm just going to hit you guys with a few and we can all kind of talk through it because I think they're really thought provoking. So the first one, how do you stop yourself from wondering if the grass is greener in a relationship? And that's a hard one because I think we're always trying to be better, find better, do better. How do you turn off that switch when you're now in a relationship and the butterflies are a little bit gone, the newness, the excitement is gone, and you guys can't speak to this because you're not 5 years into it. And my relationship is at 2.5 years, and it definitely doesn't feel the same way it did right when it started, right? And so, how do you prevent yourself from always trying to be better and find better in your personal life, but not have that same propensity in your relationship by trying to wonder if there's a better one for you?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this actually, like, quite a few times, and I think at least her and I try to take a very, like, pragmatic approach to things in general, and I think you do need to learn though, like when you do have something so good and appreciate it and be thankful for it and, embrace it. And, I think the problem with relationships in general and is it greener on the other side is that, you know, what's if a couple breaks up, then you have to like restart that process again. And like relationships aren't linear and like happiness isn't linear. Like we're all human, we all have days, we all have seasons. Work changes, life changes, new
Yeah.
endeavors. So like
Yep.
you go through them and like, that's what a relationship is, right? So like to have this expectation that it's always going to be better is completely false, right? Like you go into a new relationship after the breakup, like you're gonna have the same shit. You're gonna have the same stupid arguments that are meaningless. You're gonna have the same, baggage from past things. So it's like you need to understand how good you have it. And the last thing I'll pass it to you is
Mhm.
I think being heartbroken in my past and her past is helpful, as
Mhm.
wild as that sounds. And we talked about this too. I said like I can only date someone that's had their heart broken too,
Mhm.
because you know what it feels like.
Yep.
You have that on your sleeve and it sucks. Like it really sucks. And it's an odd bond that you create automatically, knowing that you both felt those emotions that you didn't know you have. So, anyways, yeah, I don't believe in that at all. Get better and improve yourself, but yeah, I don't think it's realistic.
Yeah, I think something that is helpful for us and something that's been very different in this relationship than any other relationships that I've been in is it's the only time I haven't thought about could the grass be greener with somebody else? Is this not the right person for me? I think it's two prongs to it. One, I think with maturity and with life, you recognize it's a partner and it's a true partnership, right? So you need to choose somebody that you're able to grow with. And to be able to grow with somebody, you have to have shared values and shared direction for your life and you guys complement each other. Like Alex challenges me in really great ways because of his calmness and his kindness and his ability to distance himself from kind of the hyper emotions of things. I'm a very passionate, just like fiery person. And so I think we complement each other really well in that way. But, you know, and what one of my favorite things about Alex that's helped me kind of come out of my shell more with this is like he's very clear with like the gratitude that he has for us and our relationship. And he verbally communicates it. I'm more of like an action person. Sometimes, as it's funny, as much as I talk, I get scared being vulnerable and telling somebody like my really raw, real emotions out of my mouth. I can write it, I can cook it, I can do it in other ways. I can sing it for you, but something about saying it and speaking to it is a little tougher for me. So he speaks to that and it helps me feel safe to do that and vice versa. So when it comes to is there a relationship that could be better for you? I think it's more of a question of are you in a relationship with somebody that allows you to grow and to evolve into your best self? And are you guys both complementing each other in that journey? Because there's going to be chapters where you're going to grow at different rates, and there's going to be chapters maybe where you're growing at the same rate. But it's the constant choice of choosing each other because you know the shared values are there and they make they make it safe for you to be your best. I think that's when you know you're in the right one. You never have to worry about is there someone who could be a better fit.
Yeah.
As
Well
somebody who renovates and designs homes, something that I've come to realize, and I think this is very analogous for the way I feel about this question, when somebody has an old house there and I come to work on it, there's so many old house problems, right? Like
Mhm.
the roof is old and it's leaking. Well, not in Kendall's case, the roof is new and it's still leaking, but
There was always
He
usually
fixed it. Fixed it, knock on wood.
amazing. But like the roof is old, it's 20 years old and you have to pay $80,000 for a new roof.
Mhm.
And because the maybe the plumbing is really old and it's cast iron pipes instead of PVC and all of those need to be replaced and its old house has old house problems. And so then they think, you know what, I'm not going to deal with all this shit. I'm just going to get a brand new construction home and I'm not going to
Mhm.
have to worry about any of these things. In other words, the other house is greener, right? So
Mhm.
they get into this new construction home and they're ready to make it their own. And then what they realize is that The old house had old house problems, but guess what? The new house has new house problems.
Yep.
For
Yeah.
example, the foundation hasn't settled yet, and now there's cracks in all of the walls. And now you have to recompound all of the walls because of the settling that occurs over the first 6 months. And because nobody lived there before, it's brand new construction. The house hasn't been wired completely for all of the Sonos speakers that you want. And now you have to rewire and do all new electrical, and that's tens of thousands of dollars. And so the costs start adding up. And then you realize whether I'm in an old house or a new house, the problems are still there. So I need to figure out, how do I handle the problems better versus trying to find something without problems? Because
Yes.
no matter what relationship you're in, with your home, with your partner, there's going to be problems. And then it just comes down to, who do I want to handle those problems with? And to
Exactly.
Alex's point, we all kind of go through seasons. We will have high points and really, really low points. And Dale and I recently had to have a really hard conversation because the last 2 years haven't been easy, especially for me. I've been going through a lot of hard stuff and trying to deal with it. And now he's kind of the one going through that. And the question in our relationship is like, okay, what if the next 2 years look like the last 2 years and there's a lot of hard stuff? Do I want to sign up for that? And I'm just like, you know what? It's not about trying to figure out how to make the next 2 years better than the last two. It's about accepting that shit is going to happen. Things are not always going to be great. Who do you want to do that with? Who do you want to
Exactly.
sit in the mud with, right? And
Mhm.
that's who you pick. And there's nothing greener than that. That is
Yeah.
who you
Yep.
pick. So yeah, new house, old house, pick whatever house you want to live in, but commit to that. Okay.
Yep.
Um, next one, which is really, really close to my heart because of how my
Mm.
engagement ended, but
Mhm.
how to tell your partner you're struggling with your mental health. Um,
Mm.
I know
You go first.
Kendall knows this very well, and
Me?
I'm not going to get into my whole story on this episode, but
Yeah.
I opened up to my fiance a few years ago and shared that I was battling my mental health with an eating disorder, a very severe one, and he left me almost on the spot and called the engagement off and everything. And a big part of it was my fault because I held it in for so long. And I was so scared to be imperfect and that if I shared that, I wouldn't be worthy of marrying him and I wouldn't be lovable. But I also, when I got to the point of sharing it, I believed that my partner would, hold me instead of discard me and help me through it. And
Mhm.
I basically have realized that if you're not able to be open and honest with your partner about the things that you're struggling with, then either it's because you trust that they won't love you through that, in which case that's not the right partner for you. Um, or you're so deep in your illness that you don't even realize you need help. And that's a whole nother seminar. But what are your thoughts on this, guys? How do you tell your partner that you're struggling?
She knows me so well at this point. Like like this happened yesterday. She looked at me. She goes, "What are you thinking?" And it's not in like a bad way. She's like, "Talk to me. Like let's like, are you okay? Like let's like let me help you, kind of, you know." So honest to God, it's happened probably more times than I would have liked to the past couple of weeks because it's been stressful with work and everything. But like, just looks at me and knows what's going through my head. Like it's wild, and she like catches me there and makes me own up to it and talk to it, which is great because suppressing and keeping that internally is not helpful, is not good. So yeah, I mean, just based off your story and
Mhm.
your mission and really how you want to help others, like our mental health has been on top of the totem pole from day one. Like it's not taboo,
Mm.
it's not intimidating, it's not anything. And sometimes you go, well, I don't want to like put this on you, or I say that to you, but no, like we have a very, very like open conversation about everything. And I think that's like something that I'm really proud of us for, is like, let's just talk
Yeah.
and let's be person to person or lover to lover and let's talk. And I think that's the best thing that we've could have ever done. So
Yeah. And I think when you're trying to share that with a partner, there is always that fear of rejection, right? Especially when you're in such a dark mental health place because you're speaking usually very ill to yourself and you've been listening to that voice and allowing that neural pathway to define you for so long. So the fear of abandonment or rejection or betrayal is so high because your inner self has already betrayed yourself in a
Mm,
way, and it's not something in a pressurized way that you're not a good person for that or you should be stronger. No, it's part of dealing with a mental health challenge and with either a season or something that can be diagnosed. So I think what's very beautiful about asking for help, and it's something that I've had to really swallow my pride and my ego for, and it's helped me grow a lot, I think, as a woman in particular, is being able to understand that asking for help is actually providing someone an opportunity who loves you to give back to you. You're Because it's if you think about it, a lot of us who deal with mental health struggles love to go and help other people. We love to go and try to pour ourselves into others because it helps kind of fill that pain we feel internally,
yeah.
and we have an empathy for it because we go through so much. But when you ask somebody for help, particularly someone that you love and that loves you, you're able to give them that opportunity to pour into you and to be that kind of that figure. And vulnerability is so powerful and it releases the burden. Like you can split the burden in a good relationship, you split the burden on everything. The life issues, the challenges, the struggles, like when you're in a great relationship, it's a teammate. And some days you have 80% and they have 20%. The other days it flips. Never really will you be at 50-50, but you're in it together. And I think that's where if you have that foundation, that commitment that we split the challenge of whatever we meet it together, locked arms, eyes ahead, covering each other's backs, like we go to war together, you'll come out of war together. But it's being able to look at your partner and say, I'm not at my best right now and I really need your help. And if they are someone who truly is ready to love you and pour into you, any ask that you make of them will never be too much. They'll love you for that. And if someone changes or doesn't respect that, then that's unfortunate for them, but they don't have the capacity and they have a lot of inner work they need to do on themselves.
I love how you reframed it as not a point of weakness when you ask for help, but it's a point of strength.
Mhm.
And I know that when you're really struggling with something, it's so beneficial to have a partner who's an empath and can sense that something is wrong. In the way that Kendall, you went to Alex and you're like, "Hey, what are you thinking? What's on your mind?" And you're now giving him a place to share and feel
Mhm.
that you really want him to share because you want to be there, and it's not a burden for him to share. You're inciting it and asking for it. So
Mhm.
having an intuitive and empathic partner is huge. But something I've always realized is that if you feel like your partner is struggling, right, take it off of you and now look outside of yourself at your partner or one of your close friends. And if you feel like they're struggling, but they're not opening up to you about it or bringing it to you, one of the best ways you can get them to bring that wall down and open up and share is for you to first share what you're struggling with. So
Yep,
Mm,
don't come to
always.
them with a, hey, is everything okay? Like, how are you doing? Like, obviously, you guys are very close and that you say that and he's going to give you an honest answer. But some people, you say that and they still have the
They're not.
walls up and they don't want to give the answer. So, what I have found is the best way to approach them is to say, hey, I've really been struggling with this lately, or I don't know if you might know my story, but I went through this and it was a really dark time. And
Mhm.
you kind of show them that like your guard is down first, and I think it makes them feel more comfortable to also bring their guard down because they don't feel like they're going to get judged. Whatever they
Exactly.
say is not going to be judged because you've already been there. In the same way that Alex didn't want to date somebody until he knew that their heart had been broken too, because it's almost like they're not going to, like Dale on our first date, I found out his engagement ended and I shared that mine, and it kind of allowed us both to not judge each other, and we felt like
Mhm.
we were in a safe space to talk about it. So I think that's a huge one. Okay, the last one is somebody wrote into the pod. I want the best in all caps. I want the best for my friends, and I struggle with how honest I can be with them about their dates. And I think something that's so great about our friendship, Kendall, and I can tell you and Alex have this too, is that we're painfully honest, but with as
Mhm.
little pain as we can create while
Mhm.
still being completely honest and transparent. And I struggle with people that are just trying to always make you feel good and always tell you what they think you want to hear, because I don't
No way.
trust it. I don't
Yeah.
trust it. And I'm not going to get better, and I'm not going to be more insightful, and I'm not going to see things that I can improve if you're just making me feel like I'm the bomb all the time. So what are your thoughts on this?
Totally. I think what's important is it's a respect. It's showing somebody respect when you're honest with them. You can also learn when to say honest things, right? Like delivery is important. I can be a very, very direct person, particularly me as a teenager or middle school. My apologies to anybody I went to middle school with. I was very bossy. I got that on a report card. I think somebody said, she's lovely and she's very strong willed, but she can be bossy. I think it shows leadership capabilities. Anyway, um,
You
you
haven't been
know,
bossy to me, so
no, well, no, because I've learned because yeah,
Unless you use shitty tomato sauce from a can, then she's not bossy.
it was like Rouse or like the Carbone one. Like it wasn't like Prego. Like,
It's still
Prego's
from
so
a can, Alex. Like the
if it
boss
was
has
from a
Prego,
spoken.
can. It's from a can, no can.
no, it was
The only
glass. It was not a
can
can. It was
I know,
glass.
No
but the
can
only one
do.
No can do.
but
Okay.
wow. I'm proud of you for that one. That was
It
impressive.
was like
Yes, Galey.
midnight.
I know, it was practically 1 AM. Regardless, um, I think that yeah, but back to the point, like being honest with people, and it's a great way to build relationships. Like we live in a time now where everyone's afraid to offend somebody and everyone's afraid to say the wrong thing. And what's happening is we're losing our personal identities. We're losing what makes us singular and unique and fascinating because we're all just kind of flocking into this groupthink mentality of oh, I just won't say it because I don't want to hurt them, or maybe someone will think that I think X.
Yeah.
It's killing us. I think what's so important is when you do love and care about somebody, you're going to be honest with them. That means that you care about their growth and their development. So, Alex has told me, or you've told me, or I've shared with other people, like different things that could make me better. And I think it's such an act of love because it's not from a place of judgment that I'm less of a person because I have something I could work on. It's, oh my gosh, here's something that I think would be helpful to you or additive to you. And when you share that, you're telling somebody that you see their value and you want them to be even more and even greater and even more too much than they are now, right? Be
Yeah.
be more expansive. So if you can pour into someone's expansion by being honest and by being you can do it kindly, you should always do it.
Yeah, I'll add one really quick thing. If you love someone and you care about someone, definitely say something. But
Yeah.
now here's how it should go down. Pretend you are the coach, okay? And whether
Mhm.
it's a basketball team, a tennis team, whatever type of team, on that team, you have dozens of different personalities. And the way you deliver that message or that
Mhm.
input matters. Okay. So, if you don't love the guy for her or vice versa, like there is a delivery of that needs to come across that they can receive because of their personality. So maybe it's more crass, maybe it's more like soft and welcoming, and try to diffuse it completely. And maybe you put yourself out in the situation first, saying, "Hey, this happened to me before, and I kind of see this happening to you too, and just want you to see that." So you need to deliver it accordingly to the person.
Yep.
I think that's so valid. I think about my 3 siblings, and if I had to give them all the exact same news, I would deliver it entirely different,
Yeah,
even probably not just, like, how I say it and how I intonate, but even just the method. Like, one I would call, one I would voice note, and one I would text, and it's
yeah,
just because of how I know they would best receive it and handle it better, right? So, I think that's so true, is kind of knowing your audience. But also, to Kendall's point, I love that you started out with respect, because you have to respect the person. If you are in my life, I will say this very clearly and unapologetically. If you are in my life and I'm not giving you insights into things that I feel like can be better, whether it's if we're on an install and you're asking how you're doing with something, or if you want advice about your social media and you send an edit before you post it, if I'm not
Mhm.
giving you some sort of feedback and I'm just like, it's great, I'm not invested because I
Yep.
always have an opinion. I can't help it.
Mhm.
Like I was born with an opinion and I'm, I guess, anti-demure in that way, but
I was just about to say that.
I just
Yes.
like I feel something and I'm excited for you and I want to make it better. And I actually think Dale and I have struggled with this sometimes because I'm so direct. He'll send
Mhm.
me a reel that he wants to post and he'll be like, hey, what do you think? And I'll be like, I think the beginning is too slow. I would change the music, make the caption shorter, and I give him all this feedback. And I've learned that I need to be like, I think it's really great. I love the creativity here. And then kind of go in with my Galey, like
Yeah.
straightforward stuff because I'm so eager to want to help him make it better that I just dive right in instead of thinking about like how my delivery is. So, but it's coming from a place of love, and I think that if people know you, they know that, and hopefully they receive it that way. So
Yeah.
trust that your girlfriends know you, and when you want to give them your thoughts on their date, know your audience, know your delivery, and also make sure that you feel safe doing it because you know you're coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that wraps up our Shadow Man coming out of the shadows episode.
Yes.
And Kendall, I feel like you already have a song planned for this.
No, I think the song "Come Clean" by Hilary Duff is cause perfect. Not that the lyrics match us at all, but I feel like we're coming clean and he's out of the shadows and it's Alex. It's not Shadow Man anymore. It's Alex. The other thing that's really great, sorry, babe, I have to put you on blast for this, but Alex has great taste in music. And I was going through his Spotify. We were like driving to the grocery store or something. And I see this playlist called Guilty. I was like, guilty? What are you guilty about? Thinking it's gonna be like a spicy playlist or something. Oh no. No, no. It is all guilty pleasure songs. And I have to say, babe, I'm proud of
They're
you.
so good.
It's on there.
I don't even know the lyrics. What was the one lyrics I messed up completely?
Oh. Something about making me breakfast and it's not.
Saving me breath.
Oh yeah. Leaving me breathless, go on, go. And he thought it was making me breakfast. And I'm like, babe,
Listen to the
no.
lyrics. I truly don't know the meaning of these songs, but
Is it list fair?
I don't know. I don't know the meaning of the songs or the like necessarily the lyrics, but they have a feeling to it, and it's a good feeling. It's kind of like childhood reminisce, you know.
It's
But
by the Cores, very 90s. It's go on, leave me breathless. But and
I know
to
that
Alex,
song.
it's
it hits.
making me
No,
breakfast.
I actually thought it was.
Hey,
I was like,
it's the energy. He's
I
feeling the
love it.
energy of
yeah,
these songs. Who cares about the words and that it's like 15-year-old girls like beat bopping? But like the fact that he likes the energy to Hillary Duff's "Come Clean." I think she came out with that when she was on Lizzie McGuire, which is
Yeah,
a long time ago.
in a
But
long time ago. And it was on the hills or it was Laguna Beach. It was the Laguna Beach opening. So
yeah.
fire.
And I. So the last thing I'll say in closing is that by no means did you and I mean to like make me into this like shadow man character and like
Yeah.
be annoying and like let me hide him and like make it this like huge story. Like honestly, it was just from a place of protecting each other.
Mhm.
And again, like you said to start, is just you wanted to know you wanted to show that you were in a relationship and I did too. And like we just wanted to protect each other from not nice people. People say crazy stuff out there. So
People are unhinged.
we just wanted to keep it very simple and we're solid. We wanted to stay solid and like didn't need to give anyone a reason to say stuff or bring it's just so unnecessary. So
Yeah, you got to protect what someone
yeah,
gave me great advice and she told me early on, and she's in the industry and she said, "Kendall, you have to protect what you keep sacred because the second that things are out, it's no longer your story. It's no longer completely owned by you. So not to be secretive, but to protect the things that really matter. And so because we're at a place and our foundation is so set and we're spending so much time together, it's just getting difficult. Like, not having photos together. And I want to share that of our relationship now. So don't ever feel like you have to be pressured to do something until you feel it's time and you feel it's ready. And I don't care what it is, whether it's a step in a relationship, whether it's a career
it could be
choice.
anything. It can be making a dinner. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
just like
Just,
do it on your terms. Do what you
yep.
need to do and like no one else's opinion matters. Like, I don't care what people are doing, and they're like, do your thing. Like, that's it. Like,
Do your
do
thing,
your
huh?
thing.
At the end of the
But
day, you have to protect the asset, and your relationship is the asset, right? So
yeah,
protect
like
it. CIA Susie, I'm sure can vouch for that.
Yep.
And the people that would nag you and send you rude and hateful messages about you keeping it private are also the first ones to criticize it and say hurtful things that are also completely untrue and based on nothing when you do come out with it. So
it's like, all right, guys, it's over now. Like, hi.
I can't wait to feed the beast and let the haters play. But whatever, it is
Yeah,
what it is, and we're happy, and you
we're
know,
doing it, and
we're yeah, we're living.
we're living.
and
We're
I'm
just
confident, I'm confident that none of those people that are the beast you are feeding are listening to this, because the people who are here, I think, are very similar to us and on similar paths, and they totally get it. So just want to thank you all so much for being here and letting us do this and allowing yet another space for Kendall to take her power back and kind of write her own narrative. And I'm so here for it too. So thank you guys. I think we're going to skip the what we're working on because we went a little long, but we love you. We appreciate you. You can follow our pod at Wholeheartedly Pod on Instagram. You can follow Kendall at Kendall Tool. You can sign up for her newsletter at kendalltool.co. And definitely, like, that's probably the hottest take you should take away from this, besides all the great relationship talk, is that you have to sign up for that. And I'm at Galey Alex, and we love you guys with
Our whole hearts. Thank you all so much, Gailey. You are a rock star. You're a heck of an interviewer, babe.
yeah, that was great.
You got a whole career. I love it. But you are the best. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the space. And we have more fun stuff coming up for you this very next week. So we love you. Do it with your whole heart, and we will see you next time.
Ciao.
bye.
Bye.